Hey everybody, Spad here with your weekly coaching prompt. And I want to talk about the Apostle Paul's comment where he says, I've learned the secret to being content, whether abounding or abased. That's King James language for doing well or not so hot. And so I've got this little cheesy acronym of 4 G's. I think the first is ground yourself. Number 2 is go to gratitude. Number 3 is understand what's the gift here. Number 4 is growth. What's the growth opportunity for me? So let's take you through that. So I think the first one is to ground yourself. I think about, my grandmother saying, take a deep breath, settle down, calm down. The way Apostle Paul would say is like, hey, don't be anxious. I say, don't be anxious. Instead, you see this in Philippians 4, to pray with prayer and supplication and thanksgiving. We'll get to that in the gratitude, but to ground yourself, to just settle down. For those of you that have been through the positive intelligence content at the way, this is about just focusing in the now, noticing your breath, noticing sounds, noticing other sensory perceptions, to get yourself grounded in the midst of something that's causing you to not be content. So number 1 is to ground yourself. And Paul will say that as you do that, as you pray and you dial into the Spirit of God, there will be a peace that you will receive that's beyond all understanding. And so ground yourself. The next is to gratitude, to just shift over and say, okay, this is horrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is not good what's happening. Whether it's an acute issue or this is a long-term chronic problem that's causing this discontent, this pain. But to just move to gratitude. What do you have today to be thankful for? Whether it happened in the past or it's something that's going on now or something you're grateful for that's going to happen in the future. Just if you can shift your brain to list out some items of gratitude, it will calm your heart down and it will start to neutralize the feelings of anxiety that go with this. And so that's really just the whole piece around gratitude. And then there's the gift. The gift is to look into that and say, how might this be happening for me? As opposed to, why is this happening to me? Like for me. I think about Paul. God tells him, hey, you go spread the word of the gospel. And Paul ends up in prison. And so, there's a chance that Paul could be thinking, did I mishear God? And like I didn't pray well enough. Or I've sinned and that's why I'm in prison. Or whatever. You start to go negative. Or you could say, what's the gift? Well, I guess what I could do is I could write to people. And as it turns out, long term, Paul's writing has been, I think, by God's intention, been probably more impactful in building the kingdom than if he had stayed and just traveling in oration. And so to look at what's the gift here? What could be happening that might actually be better for my circumstance down the road? So that's just having some forethought about that gift. And then the fourth one is just growth, is in what way am I learning something about myself through this pain? In what way is this suffering growth? And Paul talks about this. He talks about it in Romans, where he says, hey, there's this thing about suffering. It causes perseverance. This is in Romans 5. It causes perseverance because if you could end the suffering, that would have been a problem you solved. But by definition, suffering is something that goes on and you can't get yourself out of. So you by definition, you have to endure. It creates this perseverance. And once you've been through a couple cycles of that, well, now you start to develop some character, Paul says. And then after that character, you have hope the next time you go into a suffering situation. So all of these things around, particularly with the gifting, like how might this actually help my character, and the growth, how might this grow me? That is something to look forward to use as a framework to help you get through these tough times. So I hope those 4 G's help. God bless you all. Be loved, go love.